Hey everybody, it's Kristin Korn here, and today I'm going to be sharing something a little different than most days. This is definitely a story that I'm going to call like the raw corn ball life story, and it's told from my perspective as a coach's wife. And if I get through it without crying, hallelujah, but I'm not going to guarantee that that's going to happen. But I know we're going into March Madness, and I just feel like highlight reels are always being shown, especially March Madness. Everyone's winning, right? Everyone's excited. You make it to the big tournament. But there's a lot of preparation. There's a lot of years of ups and downs that goes into something like this. So I wanted to take this time to share the story of my husband. See, and I told you I might not be able to get through this. Okay. In the real person in our story as a family behind the K-State posts and videos that I make. Because we've been married for 10 years. He's been coaching since he graduated college in 2004. So 15 years. And he's always put other people in front of himself. So you know my husband, Brad Korn, he's the assistant coach at K-State, Kansas State Wildcats here in Manhattan, Kansas. But I know him as someone who's fought his way from a player in the Missouri Valley to a grad assistant in the Missouri Valley to a coach, assistant coach in the Missouri Valley, to a director of basketball operations for a Power 5 conference, to assistant coach in the Missouri Valley, back to assistant coach in the Power 5, which sounds like a great story, right? If I just wrote it out, fantastic story. But I want to talk about behind the scenes that most people don't know about. And I just want people to appreciate. So whenever I'm always talking about, let's speak positive over people, let's speak positive over these families, I really do mean it because this is our life right now. Bradley's, and I call him Bradley, some people call him Brad. He's been a part of a Sweet 16 team as a player and then as a coach. The same school he played at, and then again here. We gave 12 years at our alma mater where he was an assistant coach. And we left that school in 2012. And he was at probably the lowest point of his career. There's been some low times, but that definitely was pretty low for us. He didn't even know if he was going to stay in coaching. We didn't know. We didn't really know what was going on in the spring of 2012. He was let go of his assistant position at SIU, meaning he wasn't fired, but at the same time, the new coach coming in wasn't going to keep him on staff. And they always say connections will take you further than your resume. And this was definitely the truth for us at that time. When Coach Bruce Weber got the head coaching position here at K-State, we were actually in New Orleans for the Final Four with friends. And I remember Weber being there that weekend, and he left and he was going to Manhattan, Kansas. I'm like, where is Manhattan, Kansas? I remember looking it up on my phone and Googling it. I had no clue where Manhattan, Kansas was. And then, Bradley was literally searching on things to do if he was going to get into insurance or banking or whatever. I had a great career, so we could live on that in Southern Illinois. It wasn't like the end of us. But a few weeks later, Coach called Bradley, Coach Weber, and said, come to Kansas. I'm going to give you a job. Okay, what are we doing? We were 30 years old at the time. We had a 1-year-old. We had a home that we owned. I had a good job. And we left. And all we ever knew was he was going to get a job at K-State. When I mean job, I mean job. We literally had no clue what position Coach Weber was even going to bring him here on when we came to Manhattan, Kansas. But we had faith that this was our next path, and we trusted God the whole way. Talk about faithing it. We sold our house, packed up our 1-year-old. We had our 2 dogs, and we drove 8 hours to Manhattan, Kansas West. We visited, looked for houses, which was going to be our next home. The staff hooked us up with an incredible realtor, Linda Weiss, who became family to us. And I remember her asking us, "So what's your budget?" And we had no clue. We're like, seriously, Coach hasn't told us yet what he's going to be coming here for. We didn't know if it was going to be a video job. That's probably like $40,000 to $50,000 income. We had no clue. And we can laugh at this now because we seriously must have sounded like a bunch of fools, like young kids coming in here to purchase a home. And we had zero clue what our finances were going to look like. But faith and a good FICO score. We bought a home here, and, you know, it was actually like $100,000 more than our previous Illinois home. Only I would do something like that, but it all worked out, right? Luck and faith have it. Coach Weber gave Bradley actually a director of basketball operations position, and I had not heard of that before. We didn't have that position back at SIU. So I was like, I don't even know what you do, but we were at a Big 12 school. So a lot of things were different here, and they call it DOB job at a big school, in the Big 12. I mean, that's a 6-figure job. And I was like, oh my gosh, to do what? Travel and food? Like, I was like, was so different to me. Because that was over double what he was making as a head assistant in the Missouri Valley Conference. So, and we loved our year in Manhattan, Kansas. We were here only a year, but Bradley knew. I didn't. He knew that DOB job wasn't his thing. He wanted to coach. And he was itching to get back into coaching. And I remember that's the conversation. You know, Coach Robert just pulled him aside and said, "Hey, you got to leave. Like, you cannot stay here if you want to get back into coaching. Because you can only stay at that kind of position for probably 2 years until it's really going to knock you down and you're not going to be able to get back into coaching." It's pretty much where we were. So in 2013, just 1 year after coming to Manhattan, Kansas, we left. We sold our house in one day. Again, a great realtor we had. And we joined a staff of another former SIU player at Missouri State. And I remember just crying. At the time, I didn't understand. Like, I got it. I supported him, but he was taking a $20,000 pay cut, at least, to move schools, move states, and go back into the Missouri Valley Conference. I knew, though, I trusted him. We faced it. I knew that if he was going to get another chance at coaching at Division I, we needed to do this. So we moved. So then we had, our daughter was 2. Moved the 2 dogs, sold our house, and moved to Springfield, Missouri. And it was a great learning experience for him, and for me too. We spent 3, what seemed like kind of long years there. We made new friends. We had another daughter. We struggled financially. You know, my business wasn't growing as fast as I had projected. And things they weren't going that great for us. I honestly was in like deep depression with hormonal acne at the time. Both of our dogs passed away while we lived there. I would say it was definitely like the lowest point in our lives as a family. But we survived because we knew that this was our plan. And we turned to God all the time. We prayed that the right opportunity would open up for us, and then it did. You can see this is emotional for me because those hard times that I talk about, that's hard. They're hard to get through, and you might be having them right now. But I want you to know that you have to go through that hard to get to where we are right now. God has a plan for you, and he had a plan for us all along. And we had always talked and dreamed about coming back to Manhattan because we really, really loved it here. And we loved the people here. And when one of our best friends in Manhattan, and they were coaches, they were going to leave K-State and move to Texas. So that assistant coaching spot opened up for Bradley to apply. And he was hired. It was a long month of waiting, though. It wasn't like, oh, the job is yours. It was a long month of waiting. So in the spring of 2016, God placed us back to Manhattan for a reason. After our years in SIU, and they were great years, they just ended kind of not so great. And then after our move to Kansas in 2012, turning into like a full-time entrepreneur, I've always felt like if I dug a little deeper, worked a little harder, that I myself would be able to save Bradley from the heartaches of job loss again. Because every April, you never know if a coach is going to get fired, if you're going to get fired, there is just no guarantee in this profession. 2012 was super hard. 2015 was even harder. And I know I never wanted that to happen to us again, to where we were in financial crap, honestly. And I never wanted him to have to feel the weight of supporting our family just on his shoulders. So I'm like, I just wanted to catch him if he ever fell again. But Bradley doesn't need my net. We're both huge introverts, if you know us. We keep silent when others are speaking, but we're really, really good at analyzing situations and people and having like a path set forward. So over the last year, Bradley has really pushed himself through old ways of kind of sitting back. He does a lot of speaking his voice now. He steps into plays. He takes players aside. I kind of want to say that some of my personal developments kind of rubbed on him. But he's a totally different coach now, and it's so awesome to watch him bloom into this new person. And I think you could probably see that in him too if you're watching K-State games. But he's in this today to make a difference. It is his goal to make a difference in someone's life every day. It's actually his word of the year for 2019 is difference. Whether it's, to our marriage, to me, the girls, friends, players, whatever. He knows he has the power to impact lives, as do you. But, and I don't share this story of ours so you can be like, oh, Bradley, way to go. Like, that's not at all what this is about. But I always feel like if you can connect with people and show them that maybe your struggles aren't as bad as you think they are, other people struggle just like you are struggling maybe now. We were at an extreme high at our Missouri Valley School. Then we were at extreme low. We were at the highest ever for his income level, and he purposely left it, took a pay cut, went down to zero, having to work ourselves back up. And we're stronger than ever by far. Oh my gosh. Financially, spiritually, and in our marriage. Things honestly could not be better for us. And I tell you the story because it's ours and we own it. So whatever struggles you're going through, know that when you find God, he is going to pull you through. He already has your path, and he might drag you through mud. But just hang on, because it is brighter, my friend, on the other side. And I don't know if coaching is what my husband is meant to do for the next 10 years. I know he has definitely mastered this game he loves. He's impacted hundreds of lives through this game, and we're going to support him wherever his journey leads to next, coaching or not. But today, Breland Ashton and myself, we're cheering for these Wildcats. We thank Coach Weber for giving him the chance again to come back stronger than ever. And honestly, for God for showing us that even though the darkest times, if you're just faithing it and know that things are going to get better and you trust your path, there's always hope for a better future. Again, I don't know where his career goes from here, but I know God has big things in store for him because of his deep passion to make a difference in lives every day. He can connect with players where most coaches don't have that patience to do so, and he can get them to do things that most can't. So I think that is his true gift, and he knows that too. So, but I wanted to share our story, and I know this was a little long, and it's going to be on the blog, KristinKornblog.com, and text version as well. But I am just looking to inspire people, honestly, every day. And I feel like this story of ours is just time to be shared. Crying through it, it's my story, and it is emotional. We have big dreams for our family, huge dreams, and I know that they'll happen because we have a great partnership, my husband and I, and I don't really think anything could stand in our way. So I hope our story from high to low to high to low, honestly, now we're back to high again, just inspires you to keep pushing through, have faith, and just share it with anyone who may need to hear it. Again, you can find the complete replay of this video and the text version of this on my blog, KristinKornblog.com. Thanks, guys. I so appreciate your support over the years and of these Kansas State Wildcats. It truly does mean a ton that you support everything that we are doing, both personally and career-wise. Have a fantastic day, guys, and go Cats!